I report. You decide what's real, what's fake. Stop fake Asian hate. Black lives don't matter, and black lives would never matter until black people get their shit together and come together. Rodney O. Fisher reports. Responding to Antonio Parkinson's request for black men in Memphis and African American men of Memphis to step up and protect black women and children, and also people of color. The first thing I like to address is the fact that I ain't black, and I ain't from Africa. You from Africa, you African booty scratcher. I am a Negro Native American, and I identify as a real nigga, because at the end of the day, you still a nigga. So if you really about that life, and you really ready to go get 'em, call me. You got my number. Let's go get 'em.
I know myself, nigga, and you can't sell me shit. I'm learning the little game, trying to learn that law to protect myself. And if you ain't with it, nigga, I'ma kill you too. Don't take no steps. This is real.
Meanwhile, Antonio Parkinson, I don't think you really about that life. I don't think you believe half of the shit you said in your press conference, calling for black men to protect Tammy Sawyer, a black woman that don't even like black men. Tammy Sawyer is a part of the LGBT LMNOP community. Tammy Sawyer has litigations from the Democratic Party to protect her that black men don't even have. Make that make sense. And at the same damn time, Steve Cohen just co-signed for an Asian hate bill. And you have the nerve and the audacity to call him and ask him for help? Make that make sense. When will Steve Cohen sign the black hate crime bill? I wait. Fighting fake news.
This is a message to the black men of our communities. We have one job and one job only, and that job is to protect the women and the children. I'm a Marine. If anybody knows anything about the art of war, the first thing in war is you kill the males. If you remove the males, that means nobody is protected. The women and children are vulnerable. Our job, let me reiterate that one more time. Our job, Joe, as black men, Martavius, Charlie, Noel, in our communities, is to protect the women and the children. With that being said, County Commissioner Tammy Sawyer has endured threats from angry, racist men and others who disagree with her positions regarding the removal of racist symbols in our city, in our state, in our community.
Meanwhile, Antonio Parkinson, I think you owe black men in Memphis an apology. for requesting that black men come to the aid of a black woman that hate black men and off code and continues to initiate democratic propaganda and feminist supremacy that's geared to destroy our black men.
Marc on my hill ain't nothing worse than a bitch ass nigga. And you that bitch ass nigga. Bitch ass nigga. Marc on my hill, your day is coming to an end. All you coons out there, you blue checks, you academics, you bread and circus entertainment and sports Negroes, house niggas, the black civil war is coming. All right? It's going to be the house nigga in the field Negro. We gonna go at it. We going to get it on. And we going to destroy you. You all know this. Let's get it on. Be one to the fullest.
Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight, Black Voltron from Oakland. Let me get call of Mirror Code 901. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
This is Rodney Fisher from Memphis, Tennessee.
Rodney from Memphis. Joe Brown got Memphis blown up tonight. What's on your mind, brother?
Man, he sure does got it blown up, and I support him 100, and there's a whole lot of real black men supporting Judge O'Brien at this time. But the LBGT LMNOP community and the feminist movement is at it 100% to try to bring him down already.
Well, I want to tell you a brief thing here about Judge Joe Brown. You know, I got to let y'all know, I've spent time with Judge Joe Brown. You know, I've been to his house many times. He's the real damn deal. He is as advertised. I really just got to tell you that. If you spend any time with this man, whatnot, you know, he really is the real damn thing. From the guns to the survivalism to being just no nonsense. He really is as advertised. He is unapologetic about it. He is uncompromising. So in many ways, you know, he reminds me of the men in my family in that regard. So I can tell you all, in a day and age where you meet a bunch of fake folk, especially from that quote unquote celebrity world, there's a reason you don't see him in those circles like that. So just understand, he is as advertised. It is the real deal. And I can vouch for that personally.
Oh, yes, sir. I can, too, because I have met with him several times, and I have been connected with him over the last few years. Because one thing I do honor about him is that he has stayed connected with Memphis, even though he's in California. And a lot of folks try to say just because he's in California, he shouldn't be running for mayor of Memphis. At this time, I think he is the best thing for Memphis. And that's why I see the gay community already trying to bring it down. This young lady named Tammy Story, I don't know if you're familiar with this situation that just happened here. She was part of the Memphis activists that brought down the Nathan Bedford statue. And they just removed the remains off the grounds. And then Antonio Parkinson, the state representative for Tennessee, had the nerve and the audacity to call on black men to protect her. And the pattern I have noticed about her over the last few years is that she's a real black man hater. And he called on us to protect her after she caused this conflict with the sisters of the Confederate statues and said that they were threatening her on her social media and all this stuff here. She went to the Memphis Police Department, and the Memphis Police Department said it wasn't serious enough for them to act on. So then he go online talking about he's scared and all this right here and calling on black men to protect black women in the community. And me myself, I don't feel all black women deserve black men's protection because a lot of black women in Memphis are off code. They got this black women leading thing, they sick with it. And
well, you're right, but I want you to understand where that comes from, though. These are not folk who came from the soil. What you have is a strategy that gets implemented everywhere. Okay? This strategy gets implemented everywhere. What happens is the Democrats come in, or Republicans for that matter, they come in and just like with Simone Sanders, and we've been over that before, but just like with Simone Sanders, what they do is they find somebody and they've been cultivating them. They've been cultivating them and been grooming them since they were in high school. You just didn't know it. You just didn't know it. But what I'm saying is, the general public, I'm just saying, as individuals, we don't know it. And Simone is just one of many. That's the real problem. Simone is just one of many. So when I show you, pictures of Simone Sanders sitting up here with Bill Clinton, just understand what you're really looking at there. She's just one of many that they've been cultivating for decades. And then one day they throw them out there and whatnot, and it's just like, bam, there they are. Well, yeah, but she's just one of them. Just one. Right. Then you take a look at all the folk Kamala Harris got around her. Then you take a look at all the Negroes they hired at that bogus-ass Black News Channel. And you realize, I'll be damned. That's what your HBCUs are for. Your HBCUs are a farm where they cultivate new operatives. And then next thing you know, all they do is come into town, and then out of nowhere, just like they did with Barack Obama, somebody who has no historic roots to the community, but all of a sudden, they are the person picked by the political establishment to represent you. Which is why it is so important that whoever you deal with come from the soil. Don't let it be somebody brought to you. And they're like, well, they from here, and trust us, we believe in them.
Right. Because our city doesn't really know politics at all, but when it's time to vote, it's a bunch of monkey see, monkey do. And even me trying to explain a lot of it, they really don't want to hear it because we've been led by Democrats forever. In the last 50 years, and I said there is no change. And I feel like Memphis could be the beginning or just the blueprint to show other cities on how we can do for ourselves. But
I mean, Memphis,
we have and the get along game that we have, it's not happening.
Memphis is really, I'll do this briefly before I move on, but Memphis is really a strategic place geographically. Memphis is a rare place. For those of you who don't know, Memphis, Tennessee is what they call the population median of America. Technically speaking, there's roughly the same number of people to the east of Memphis as there are to the west. And because, of course, Western expansion, America is not a very old country, so the majority of your population is still on that East Coast for the most part. But Memphis is the population median, which is why FedEx's hub is in Memphis. And
distribution capital of the world.
When you realize how pivotal and critical that is, then you realize why control is so important. So when you take a look when you go back up I-40 and you take a look at what's happening in Davidson County in Nashville, and then you take a look at what's happening in Chattanooga, and then you take a look at Tennessee, which is right there before you get, across the Mississippi River, going to West Memphis and Arkansas and whatnot. And there ain't really anything over there. Once you cross that bridge in Arkansas, there's not anything over there. But when you take a look at that, absolutely. And what we're saying is that is a place right there that if you get control of something like that, that's why for Chicago is another one of those major distribution hubs. Memphis is one, but Chicago is another one, major instrumental one, where it is. Yeah, there's a reason why when your black population goes up and they try very hard, next thing you know, you get a bunch of puppet politicians. There's a reason why they focus so hard in places like Chicago, New York, Memphis, which people don't think is that important, but it actually really is. It actually really is. Right. So, yes, it serves a pivotal purpose. So what black folk need to do, more importantly, is be on code. And I want you to be very, very clear about something. We don't got to get everybody on code. Team reflects leadership. Right. We just need enough black folk to get on code. I really want y'all to focus on that. Don't worry about getting the majority on code because the majority follows the leadership. You just need to get enough on code. But you cannot have hand-picked individuals to do that. You can't have shills for that. You got to have folk that we chose, not people brought to us by the political environment to say, well, trust us, this person over here was one of y'all for a while, trust us. No, it needs to be somebody that we chose And then once we choose them, we're going to have to fund them, because even if we don't rally behind the establishment's candidate, they're going to back somebody anyway. If for nothing more than to split the vote. They're going to back them anyway. Just
We
to
got
try
that
to
going on now.
Yeah, I mean, that's the strategy. Even if black folk from the grassroots don't back their person, they'll put money into them anyway to try to split that vote, because it's in their interest
We
to do
got
so.
Thaddeus Matthew.
Well, I mean, it's one among many, but yes, absolutely. So just understand what the real plan is there. And it's not new. They do this everywhere. They did it in Houston, New Orleans. This is standard operating procedure. Once you recognize that's what it is, then you realize, okay, well, how do we fight that? By having the guts to be on code about it and just get enough people. Now, it doesn't happen overnight. No, it doesn't. And you are facing headwinds. Yes, you are. But that's what survival costs. Thank you very much for giving us a call.
Judge Joe Brown take down and dismantling, Marc Lamont Hill was awesome. Just read the comments right below on the website.
It's been a glorious thing right there. And the real thing is, what we showed here is that when we don't compromise, that's what works. Because at the end of the day, there is no, if you're talking about protecting females, there is no female who feels protected and safe and secure in the effeminate, moist embrace of Marc Lamont Hill. This is a guy who has never had a fist fight. He has never defended a woman. He has never defended children. He has never fought white supremacy. He has never stared down danger. He would never sit here and cause a blemish on his moisturized, manicured, exfoliated digits on his hands. He would never do such a thing. So if you're a woman whose life is in danger, it's real cute to have this soggy, moist sponge sitting up here next to you, placating and pandering. That sounds real cute, but you know damn well that if the front door got kicked in and Dylan Roof was sitting there, or Michael Slager was standing there, you know full damn well, if Marc Lamont Hill is the only thing standing between you and death, I hope you've made your peace with your maker. I'll let you have the last word.
No doubt. You know your God. Sum that up just to say that the way we used to say it back in the day, Marc Lamont Hill ain't nothing worse than a bitch-ass nigga. And you that bitch-ass nigga. Marc Lamont Hill, your day is coming to an end. All you coons out there, you blue checks, you academics, you bread and circus entertainment and sports Negroes, house niggas, the Black Civil War is coming. All right? It's going to be the house thing in the field, Negro. We gonna go at it. We gonna get it on. We gonna destroy you. You on notice. Let's get it on. Be one to the fullest.
Tell them nigga big dog in the business. Yeah, the big dog, Borilla. Reason nigga with the cello. He a motherfucking hitter. Real nigga. A real nigga. Real nigga. Real nigga. I mean, the nigga gotta die. Nigga realize I'm the nigga. Gotta open up a nigga. Run up on a nigga. Jacket for the beats. Nigga, this a sticker. A real nigga. Real nigga. I'm a real nigga. Real nigga. I know myself, nigga, and you can't sell me shit. I'm learning to litigate, trying to learn that law to protect myself. And if you ain't with it, nigga, I'ma kill you too. Don't take no step. Play with that right, you gon' catch that left. Nigga better brace yourself. I'ma teach my kids about their culture up until I say my last damn breath. And I don't need no religion to know what right or wrong or what good or bad. Shit keep a nigga shack on my nigga. Keep preaching, never going back with my nigga. I Could've talked about guns and gang shit, but it's the same shit that we talk about on every song. In my own lane, so I'ma leave it low. Sorry, I can't lay around. As a black man, I've been knocked out of bounds. Yeah, make sure they don't drop my key with that bullshit. But they get a cap in the gown. Versus I'm laying them down. Yeah, I just be knocking them down. Yeah, giving you niggas the knowledge. Yeah, right to your favorite sound. You niggas under that cloud. But I done moved from it now. Yeah, trying to learn what they know about me. It's clear that I don't know it now.
They told me I was this way when I'm really amazing. Been lied to all my life and it's crazy. Man, you motherfuckers is fugazi.
Made me wanna go back in time and rearrange all that. Rewind, get this shit right. Rewind, shit that going on. We blind, get a step out this matrix. Won't open up your eye, too much can't take it. We ain't meant to survive, cause we think basic. Killing each other and we call them racist. Damn, boss said we ain't meant to survive cause it's a setup. Even gave a woman some hope to keep her head up. Nigga talking shit when he broke, well get your bread up. Stay down on their ass and never let up. Clouds ain't sticking around, man, they get better. One day we'll be clear sky. You hoping the rain dries. You motherfuckers still black. Here's your position, that's your little job. You done moved up for real now. You done moved from the field now. Now you just a house nigga. Yeah, slip on that couch, kissing their ass, attention on our niggas. You a narcissist, and it's too damn much. I can't fuck with this. I realize you gon' nigga turn on your own niggas, and then try to smile in their face. That was slavery. But I be seeing this modern day. So many issues that I cannot cover in one song. If I do it, be one go. Niggas still shucking and jiving. Can you stop all that hambo?
They told me I was this way when I'm really amazing. Been lied to all my life and it's crazy. Man, you motherfuckers is fugazi. Baby.
Made me wanna go back in time and rearrange all that. Rewind, get this shit right. Rewind, shit that going on. We blind, get a step out this matrix. Won't open up your eye, too much can't take it. We ain't meant to survive, cause we think basic. Killing each other and we call them racist. Damn.
My man Joe Brown is on the line here. We can see the judge on the screen there. Judge Joe Brown, welcome back to the Black Channel.
Good evening. How is everyone?
Well, Judge Brown, you know, everybody is talking about the interview slash corporal punishment that you did on Marc Lamont Hill, who essentially, Marc basically held himself up as a black male feminist, was what he did. And it was essentially, he was here to convince us that Bill Cosby needs to be...
I was mistaken. I didn't get the male part.
Oh, okay.
I just thought it was a black feminist.
Yeah, he's a good stand-in.
Male. Okay, all right.
He's a good stand-in.
You can't tell these days.
No. Too difficult to tell. So essentially, he was trying to say that basically we need to punish Bill Cosby on behalf of stop fighting the patriarchy is what we need to do there. So Judge Joe Brown, I want to have a different discussion because we know how you feel about the law of it. That's very clear. We covered that with Attorney Shabazz. I want to talk about what the real issue is. Judge Brown, do you see this as an attack on manhood in general and targeting black manhood in specific? And if so, why?
Well, all manhood, starting with us. I don't even need to go past the law thing. The law has been so clear for 240 years. It's like, what kind of retard's not been around long enough to spend 15 minutes reading the U.S. Constitution and the Bill of Rights and getting what the Fifth Amendment is about? And black people all throughout this country's history have been lynched, mobbed, rendered injustice because somebody was emotionally overwrought and thought they need to be punished for what somebody felt they were about rather than what they could prove. So I don't get it why anybody black, male or female, who is not just a complete jerk, would get into trying to uphold mob justice. See, in America, there's a presumption of innocence, okay? And that stands as a witness for the accused until it's removed by clear and convincing evidence sufficient to prove the defendant guilty beyond a reasonable doubt upon due process of law. And the operative assumption is that if somebody's making an accusation, the accusation is false until it is proven beyond a reasonable doubt. So effectively, these women made false accusations against the defendant under the operation of American law. There was no due process of law. And in any event, what he did admit to doing was not to committing crime. He was just off into that groupie thing. They wanted drugs and BBC. And they got drugs and BBC. And that's not British Broadcasting Corporation.
No.
So they got what they wanted. And as a matter of fact, you can see what Cardi B goes around saying she did, and all of the woke blacknesses out there in fantasy land, they say she was just doing what she had to do. Well, from her side of things, she was just being what these Cosby accusers were being, doing what they thought they needed to do to get ahead, to jumpstart their careers. But apparently what they were using to jumpstart wasn't any better than their acting or singing. So, sex, drugs, and rock and roll. Sex, drugs, and TV. Sex, drugs, baseball, football, basketball, politics, rap, you name it. That's what it's about. They're groupies.
Well, let me ask you about something here. What is in this? What is in it for these Marc Lamont Hills? In specific, I want to talk about the males, the one who qualifies male, at least on birth certificates, although they would even argue against what that has any validity.
He doesn't want to be lemonized like Don Lemon did on CNN. By the way, he doesn't even sound like Fox. Fox has been taking Cosby's side, for the matter of fact. I find it interesting that you want to outdo Fox on getting on a black man. But see, I imagine Hill doesn't want to be lemonized and squeezed a little bit too much and out of the picture like they did Loser Lemon on Crying Negro Network. Van Jones. Oh, I'm so glad. It's what it is. It's embarrassing. See, we have to have integrity, and these kinds of people need to be exposed before the crowd talking about unity gets too strident and bringing in some traitors, some snitches, some
bitch ass niggas
into make life miserable for those who are actually trying to do something about the problem. So it's good. I knew he was trying to ambush me, so I went on anyway. I said, well, time to slap the boy down and teach him a lesson. He ain't as smart as me, ain't as wise as me, and doesn't know what I know. So let him go on. Then where did he get? Nowhere, because he ran straight up against something that's irrefutable. It's called the law. And everybody on the planet Earth has law. I don't care what continent you're from, you have law. And that distinguishes us from animals.
This is real news.
Stay tuned.
Tell me shit, nah. I know myself, nigga. Yes, and you can't sell me shit. No. I'm learning to litigate. trying to learn that law. Tell myself. And if you ain't with it, nigga, I'ma kill you too. Don't take no step. Play with it right, you gon' catch that left. Nigga better brace yourself. I'ma teach my kids about their culture up until I say my last damn breath. And I don't need no religion to know what right or wrong or what good or bad. Shit keep a nigga shack on my nigga. Keep preaching, never going back with my nigga. I could've talked about guns and gang shit, but it's the same shit that we talk about on every song. In my own lane, so I'ma leave it low. Sorry, I can't lay around. As a black man, I've been knocked out of bounds. Yeah, make sure they don't drop my key with that bullshit. But they get a cap and a gown. Versus I'm laying them down. Yeah, I just be knocking them down. Yeah, giving you nigga the knowledge. Yeah, right to your favorite sound. You niggas under that cloud. But I done moved from it now. Yeah, trying to learn what they know about me. It's clear that I don't know it now.
They told me I was this way when I'm really amazing. Been lied to all my life and it's crazy. Man, you motherfuckers is fugazi.
Made me wanna go back in time and rearrange all that. Rewind, get this shit right. Rewind, shit that going on. We blind, get a step out this matrix. Won't open up your eye, too much can't take it. We ain't meant to survive, cause we think basic. Killing each other and we call them racist. Damn, boss said we ain't meant to survive cause it's a setup. Even gave a woman some hope to keep her head up. Nigga talking shit when he broke, well get your bread up. Stay down on their ass and never let up. Clouds ain't sticking around, man, they get better. One day we'll be clear sky. You hoping the rain dry. You motherfuckers still black. Here's your position, that's your little job. You done moved up for real now. You done moved from the field now. Now you just a house nigga. Yeah, slip on that couch, kissing their ass and stitching on our niggas. You a narcissist, and it's too damn much. I can't fuck with this. I realize you gon' nigga turn on your own nigga, and then try to smile in their face. That was slavery. But I be seeing this modern day. So many issues that I cannot cover in one song. If I do it, be one go. Niggas still shucking and jiving. Can you stop all that hambo?
They told me I was this way when I'm really amazing. Been lied to all my life and it's crazy. Man, you motherfuckers is fugazi. Baby.
Made me wanna go back in time and rearrange all that. Rewind, get this shit right. Rewind, shit that going on. We blind, get a step out this matrix. Won't open up your eye, too much can't take it. We ain't meant to survive, cause we think basic. Killing each other and we call them racist. Damn.
Stay tuned.